So like the central government employees are much at benefit. They have cashless things, benefits going on, and irrespective of whether you have a disability. So that's a plus. Some states are good in public healthcare, like Kerala, Tamil Nadu. The public healthcare is brilliant. But yeah, North is not that as good.
So among the customers of yours, how many of them can actually pay by themselves, or how many of them are dependent on this government aid or some other grant or some
So,
charity and such?
so for our focus has been to focus on traveling with dignity. People pay for themselves when they can afford it, because that's a
So you
business.
primarily cater only to that
Yes.
group.
Yeah. But now what we are trying to do is, so what happened during COVID is I got time to think. And so for first 3 years, we did everyone, whatever budget they came in, okay, fine, like we'll do it in that. But you cannot deliver quality service when so much is going around in the background, so much work and effort being needed. You cannot deliver quality at such low cost. So I went broke by default. Then I had to kind of change, like, what is the right thing to do for me as a business? So then you change your target audience to the more affluent disabled people who can afford. And in that too, a large portion of them remains people from developed nations who can afford to travel with us. So like, we are not just
So you're just
coming
following the
to,
money.
no, I am coming to it. Yes, I have to follow the money because I have to pay the bills.
No, I'm not saying it's a negative thing. It's what
Yeah.
the world does, right? That's what you
Yeah.
also said.
So, but when COVID happened, it made me realize we are not making the impact that we wanted to do, because the gaps are not getting closed. How many people can really travel with us? How many people can you take to only accessible places or make it temporarily accessible, and then it's gone and other people cannot access it? And again, the perception around only wheelchair accessibility is a big problem. So you need to have awareness about digital accessibility. If a person cannot access your own website, if they cannot access the travel content, how they can make an informed travel decision about where they want to travel and where they want to put the money? And if they are spending the money, why should they get a below par experience? If they are spending the same money, they should get accessibility equally. Plus, there has to be a more standardized way of systematic change that can bring accessibility into the core. Because once that happens, then the economies of scale come in and the cost of traveling goes down. Because, there are a lot of people, especially in India, who cannot afford this travel. And if they want to go into even explore their own city, the monuments are not accessible. So how they can go? I mean, they don't have access to it. Even the affluent disabled people haven't been to the monument in the city they've been living all their lives. They have never been there, or they are denied entry into restaurants. I mean, this Saturday only, because Saturday, all the malls are filled. So we decided not to go to a mall because there's a parking line and stuff. So we just me and my parents wanted to have lunch. It took us 2 hours. And we could not find any place which was wheelchair accessible out of the mall also. And then you go to the old place, okay, and then just have whatever is available at that accessible place. Because that is the reality of most Indians who cannot even afford a car to move around and roam around the city for 2 hours to find a place that is accessible. Then it goes into crawling or being lifted or being treated in an undignified manner, which is also not right. So what can we do to, solve this problem at the core? The only thing can be done is to make accessibility and inclusion mainstream, so that Planetable as a service provider is no longer needed in the future. I want to go out of business from the travel services business.
Perhaps you can be in business by doing travel service, but perhaps you can stop being an activist, because all that you're talking is more like an activist and less of an entrepreneur.
No, so being an entrepreneur is solving the problem. So I'm kind of now shifting the business more from the B2C side to the B2B side. So we had been a destination developer right from the first day, whether it's training, making places accessible temporarily or permanently, and consulting
But much
them.
of it seems to be a policy problem, right? I mean,
Yes,
it
it
has
is
to come more from a government side. So
it is
how
a
are you trying to address it as an entrepreneur?
capitalism.
Okay.
Capitalism has more power than the government. It can control the government.